Okay, I usually get a lot of comments based upon the fact that I do a lot of research when I put out my videos. Well, you're going to find that this video shows absolutely no research at all. It's just stuff I'd like to see Disney do. And I'm going to start with the expansion of the Skyliner. Now, I realize it's a little early to speak about expansion of the Skyliner when it hasn't even opened, but we've all seen the pictures of the Skyliner going to Hollywood Studios and Epcot and making stops at Pop Century and Caribbean Beach. And if you stayed at any one of those resorts lately, you've probably found this card on your nightstand. It shows you exactly where the new Skyliner is going to go. But I think this system's going to be underutilized, so I'd like to propose an expansion. You see, personally I'd like to see the Skyliner expanded to go down to the Swan and Dolphin Hotels, the Coronado Springs Resort, the All-Stars Resorts, and then finally up to Animal Kingdom. And speaking of Animal Kingdom, there's something I want to talk about over there too. And it includes a back gate and Rafiki's Planet Watch, along with, of course, the Harambe Express train. I think we can all agree that Rafiki's Planet Watch isn't really as visited as other places in the park. And I'm sure a bunch of you out there have made the round trip on the Harambe Express because, quite frankly, you didn't want to get off at the Planet Watch. But what if that train was able to take you to, I don't know, say, the Magic Kingdom? Okay, just hear me out for a minute. What makes Epcot the best of all the theme parks? That's right, the fact that it has a back door. And a bunch of other stuff, too. So now what if Animal Kingdom had a back door, too, and you didn't have to stand in these hellacious lines that they have going into the park every day? See, when I investigated on Google Earth, that's right, I'm retired and don't have much to do, but when I did check, it was just under 3 miles as the crow flies from Magic Kingdom over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. That's right, this Rafiki's Planet Watch, where I was able to get this video without having to hand out a bunch of release forms. Okay, back to the map. Rafiki's Planet Watch is right here. And the train station for the Planet Watch is right here. That's right, you walk all this way. But what if instead of looping around to go back to the station, it went straight here instead and headed over towards the Magic Kingdom? 2.8 miles to tickets and transportation. Now I realize I was just talking about the expansion of the Skyliner to go to Animal Kingdom, but there's something you should know about that. There is no way you're getting me up in one of those things in Florida in the middle of the summertime. There's no way I'm gonna hang from a line and bake in the sun like those chickens over at Morimoto's. But as long as we're talking about Morimoto's, let's talk about the rest of Disney Springs. And I gotta admit, Disney's been doing a great job over at the Springs, providing more places to eat, more things to see and do. And they have one of my absolute favorite signs. Yep, let's just assume that the bathroom floor is gonna be wet and not put up one of those yellow signs that's impossible to get a wheelchair around. Thank you, Disney. I even think this makes up for Saratoga Springs, where you put the handicap sign on the wrong side of the door. Disney Springs has also been providing us with some really good free concerts. Which are just chock full of copyrighted material. But I think I'll risk the copyright claim. Why do people break up? Oh, they turn around and make up. But there is one thing I'd like to see happen at Disney Springs, and that has to do with transportation. And I'm not talking about external transportation. I'm really kind of happy with the new bus loop they built, plus the new parking garages, orange and lime, with another one getting ready to open. With all the new parking, it really is way easier to find a parking spot at Disney Springs. I'm talking about internal transportation. You know how far it is across Disney Springs? Well, again, according to Google Earth, half a mile as the crow flies. But we're not crows. And you know how far half a mile is? That's enough room to put on a drone show. Once. And apparently never again. But I figure if it's big enough for a drone show, it's too far to walk. And don't get me wrong, I really do like the Sassagola Steamboat Company boats that go from one side of the springs to the other with that stop at Marketplace. But they just take too long. I mean, let's say I'm over at the Marketplace doing an in-depth study of Walt Disney World trains. And then I find out there's a new batch of Mickey's Cake Pops over at the Candy Cauldron on the west side. Do I then want to wait for the incredibly slow Sassagola Steamboat Company boat to take me across Lake Buena Vista to the west side so I can get one? No, the answer is no. Oh, you're right, Disney style. I have an idea on how to get from one side to the other. Remember, it's just a half a mile. Wouldn't these look great in the middle of Lake Buena Vista? I mean, who's not going to admit that this looks 100 times better than this? I mean, come on, you can't possibly think that Cirque du Soleil's actually coming back. And as long as we're trying to figure out what to do with Cirque du Soleil, may I be the first to suggest this? I mean, as much as I like Splitsville, I really do miss the Virgin Megastore. Where else in Disney property were you going to find a book like Married to the Mouse, which is, we'll call it a little negative towards Disney, or even better, James Stewart's bestseller, Disney War. But they also have good books like all of the ones by David Liepart that deal with the railroads. Okay, just kidding, you gotta go to Amazon to get them, and I suggest you do. I mean, I've really enjoyed them. But what about over in the theme parks? Is there anything I'd change in, say, the Magic Kingdom?
Just 5 minute wait for this ride. How does it make those for? Okay.
Nope, nothing I can think of. I guess Hollywood Studios is headed in the right direction too. I mean, they're making a lot of changes, and for me, I really can't wait until Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens. I mean, I think they did a really good job over in Toy Story Land. Although I'm pretty sure the ride could last more than 2 minutes and 43 seconds. And I've heard nothing but good stories about Slinky Dog Dash. Although with my bad back, I really can't ride it. And it looks like they're making some really good progress on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Animal Kingdom, well, Animal Kingdom's practically perfect. Yeah, there's really only one thing I'd like to see them work on. Lately, I've been just having a good time taking pictures of critters, getting to know my new camera. I've also been working on getting some video that you really can't get anywhere else. Yeah, there are just some videos you can't just stage, and the kids fighting while Dad came home was one of those. Although I'll admit it's kind of cool, I still don't understand what the big draw is behind Pandora. I mean, it's been like 13 years now since the first movie came out, and who knows how long it'll be for the next one. Of course, most of that's jealousy, because I can't ride Flights of Passage. But I still haven't figured out why in 2018 they don't have a handicap-accessible boat for the Navi River journey. I also can't figure out how much longer this guy's got to bake before he's done. Of course, at Animal Kingdom, I won't even admit that that whole dinosaur area exists. Now, if you were paying attention earlier in the video, you would know that Epcot is my favorite of all of Disney's parks here in Florida. And not just because of things like the Food and Wine Festival. Note to self, check the calendar more closely next year, make sure you're not going a day early. And they keep adding more festivals onto the list of events for Epcot. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite. But as a photographer, I love Flower and Garden. It's kind of hard to take a bad picture during that festival. But as long as we're talking about adding things to Epcot, I've got a couple of ideas for over in the World Showcase. And it has to do with all these green spaces, see? Because according to my buddy Warner Weiss over at yesterland.com, there's not one, but 6 different locations that they could put additional pavilions in. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't really need to put in another pavilion as much as they need to just open this door. Yeah, the one right here in Germany. Because I, for one, am ready to go on the Rhine River cruise. And I'm told everything is there except the boats and the water. I'm sure you've been told about the pavilions that never were. You know, Spain, Israel, and, of course, Equatorial Africa. But I have a few ideas of my own. How about the United States Territories Pavilion? This pavilion would include American Samoa, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Northern Marianas Islands, and of course, the Panama Canal Zone. Huh? What? When? Okay, we're gonna have to change that. Looks like the Panama Canal actually belongs to Panama now. So I guess we could let them have their own pavilion. Or to avoid any conflict or mixed feelings, how about the Native American Pavilion? See, I considered this at first, but there are 573 recognized tribes in the United States. Where does one go to decide which ones will be in it? Or, being in Florida, do we just go with the Seminole tribe? Rumor has it that currently they're doing okay for themselves. Maybe they could even bail Disney out a little. But if you'd really like some information on who the real contenders were for pavilions over at Epcot, make sure you go over and check out yesterland.com. Warner's got a lot of good information over there. And the last thing I want to talk about today is this property right here. This is Flamingo Crossings. Now, Disney says they have a plan to develop it. There's really just 2 hotels on the site right now, and they've apparently broken ground on 2 more hotels, and they plan a town center, a whole area for apartments, and more hotels. But let me tell you what Disney needs, as far as I'm concerned, and that's a 5th gate. Yep, we need us another theme park. And well, yes, I have seen Disney's grandiose plans for a beautiful town center for Flamingo Crossing and additional apartments and housing and all kinds of stuff. Truth is, this is what Flamingo Crossings looks like right now. Looks like enough room for a theme park to me. Now, Reedy Creek Improvement District says of their 30,000 acres, 9,000 are conservation setback and will never be worked on, and the parks only take up 1,100 acres. So if you include everything that's already been developed, that leaves them 12,000 acres to work with. Included in that is Flamingo Crossings. So come on, Disney, shove that entrance archway back the other end of Western Way and give us a 5th Walt Disney World theme park that we can all enjoy. Well, these are my ideas. What do you think? What new nation would you like to see have their own pavilion over at the World Showcase? Or what's your idea for Disney's 5th Gate theme park? I really want to know. Let me know in the comments below. Emmy's checking her stocking, looking for your likes and comments. And I really hope you enjoyed the video too. And if you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And remember, when you do subscribe, don't forget to click on that bell icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.